How many of you would love to grow faster? By a show of hands. I'm waiting for everybody to raise their hand. How many of you want to grow super, super fast, or how many of you guys just want to keep just like slow and steady, which by the way can be slightly painful.
It can be.
It can be painful.
Goodness. Yes. There's a huge difference, you guys, in showing 10 people this business in a year or 10 people in the next 2 weeks. And that's kind of what happens, right? Is you mean the checklist. You commit to the checklist for 1 year, and that's 52 plans for the year. Just you think you're going to find a few people? Absolutely. But so many of us just get all up in our head and find all these excuses and, oh man, I showed this person, they said they're going to come to the HVP, and man, I showed this person and oh, it didn't work out, they couldn't come to the HVP, but in a couple weeks or next month they're going to come to the local seminar, and then you wait a month on them, and it's just slow and painful, where all you got to do is take control, be consistent with that checklist, and really you show a plan every single week. The momentum that starts to be created because of that, you are super busy. You show 52 people this year, obviously things are going to start happening. It doesn't matter who does it, who doesn't, because your funnel is full. And you're going to have a great time with the ABC patterns.
In the end, you guys, you can show one plan a week, or you can take, like, I call it taking the training wheels off the bike. It's like, remember, like being a kid, I take the training wheels off the bike, I get pushed down the road, and we live kind of like on a hill. And so, you got pushed, man, and it was like, just hold on, and I didn't want to wipe out or skin my knee, but ultimately, you're going to skin your knee a time or two. But the same thing in the business. You got to take the training wheels off and say, all right, you know what, I got this, and turn it up a notch. The one plan a week is the minimum. I mean, if you could do more, show 2 or 3, show 5 plans in 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and you'll have so much popping that your mind will be like, oh man, just showing 1 plan a week is really all I can do to stay consistent, because I have so much momentum going now with this activity I produce and the excitement I produce, because when you're hot,
you're hot.
You're hot. And that's fun.
And who says when you get in momentum, you got to kind of stay in the momentum, right? It's easier to stay in the momentum than it is to create it. And so when you find somebody, and you're showing the plan, and it kind of backs up to our videos that we've done, and you're welcome to go back and reference it again. But we talked about when you show the plan, we talked about J.R. Reitinger's clothes. You got to be comfortable with your own clothes. And to me, that's really where the ABC pattern starts, because you don't want it a big complicated decision. You want to make it an easy breezy, decision for them. No big deal. Just, the next logical step would be, right? So one thing we do is we ask them, did we spark enough interest with you to get more information? Or did we spark enough interest with you to evaluate this business further? Yeah. I mean, they'll tell you. You ask them. You don't just walk away and do this perfect plan and then just kind of wonder. Ask them, and most likely they'll say, well, yeah, sure, I'd like more information. Great. The next step is, how about we get back together here at Starbucks? Today is Sunday evening. How about we get back together at Starbucks? Maybe we could meet on Tuesday or Wednesday evening. There's another business presentation that my spouse is doing, or that my business partner is doing. Or it could just be, if you don't have anything going on there, let's get back together at Starbucks on Wednesday. Would that work for you to get you're evaluating this company. We want to make sure that there's a match as well. How about we get back together, and you mentioned your coworker, Jim, you mentioned your brother-in-law. Why don't you bring them, have them evaluate this concept for you, ask them to put another set of eyes on this thing, and we can show some people that you respect. I guarantee you, we show 10 people, we'll get your customer base rocking. That's like breathing. Who doesn't want cash back, right? You shake your head like this. We find you a couple key people, and then, you'd be crazy not to do the business, and we'd be crazy not to bring you on the team, right? So you set that next appointment. If it's the HVP or the UBP, you swing by, you pick them up, and then in between there, we also talked about this on our follow-up video, where you can say, great, we're going to, today's Sunday, get together with you on Wednesday. And then you can sneak. I would love, 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 love. You know who you remind me of, or you know who I would love for you to talk to is my business partner, Melanie, or my business partner, Jackie, or my business partner, Chris, or whoever it might be that you think that they have like, they're like-minded or they have a lot in common with. Or if that person is worried, I don't know if I can retail the products, great. You got to talk to so-and-so. They thought the same thing. And you book that follow-up within 48 hours. So if you're not meeting with them on until Wednesday and it's Sunday, I would definitely give them a call just to answer questions, do that follow-up to keep them up on that thermometer we talked about for the follow-up phone call in between. I do that probably on Monday night or Tuesday day just to confirm Wednesday.
Pedal to the metal, Roger Rose. You got it, buddy. And that's what it is. It's about getting into momentum,
yes,
making it fun. Do it now, do it now, do it now. And urgency.
Yep.
If you don't give it urgency, they're not going to, because they don't know what the next logical step is. Only you know what the next logical step is. So, you know, this past week, I showed a person the plan via Zoom.
Yep.
And as I showed that appointment via Zoom, he was a referral, guys. So somebody led to somebody as a referral, made the referral. I reached out to the person. Hey, would love to talk with you over Zoom. We could set something up, get to know each other a little bit, see if we could spend some time together. And that's what we did. So we jumped on a Zoom conference, you guys. What I love about Zoom is I'm able to see the person. They're able to see me. If I want to show some information, I can. If I don't need to. And I got to know him over probably a 15-minute Zoom meeting. That's all it was, just a little introduction. And I said the same thing Trinity just said. Did I spark enough interest and for you to get some more information and for us to see if we can help each other out some more? He said, absolutely. And I said, great. You know, when's the earliest you could get together? I've got, you know, Monday or Tuesday available. And he said, Tuesday works great for me. I said, great. 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning. And he said, you know, 10 o'clock will work great. And I said, awesome. And then we booked the appointment at a Starbucks closer to him. And I've let him know, now if I take the time, and I'm very nice about it, right, guys? You say it with a smile. But now, hey, if I take the time, man, and I shoot over there, are you 100% committed to being there at the 10 o'clock scheduled time? And he said, absolutely. And I said, great. That morning, he sent me a text before I even had a chance to text him. And he said, I will be there. Are you still committed to being there at 10 o'clock? I said, I am. You are on it. Fantastic. I will see you then. We get together for the appointment, you guys. At the appointment, I'm getting to know him. Hey, I would love to get to know you a little bit better and a little bit more about your background and find out a little bit more about what you love most about your counseling business and really mentoring and helping people. And then I would love to take an opportunity to share a little more about myself. And he says, yeah, that sounds awesome. Guys, he talked a long time. All right. I think I learned his whole life story. And what happened was an hour and a half later and a couple of coffees later, I was ready to just shut the whole thing down. And that's usually what I would do. But I drove like an hour to get over to him. Okay, number one. So I don't want to waste my time. And this guy had a lot to say, and I sat and listened. And that's what I did. In the end, I said, well, listen, we've used up a chunk of time here. Usually I'm in and out about 45 minutes. I said, but I really enjoyed getting to know you more. Maybe we should book another time to get back together again. And he says, no, man, I'm here too. I need to get to know you better. And so he's like asking me questions. And so I'm like, all right. So I answered a few questions. He says, all right, now explain a little more about this business. And when I answered questions, you guys, and I shared a little bit about myself, it's stuff that we've been sharing over the last 8 weeks anyway. So I don't need to repeat stuff to you guys, but I shared about my background but I did draw as he shared about things of his childhood and how he was raised and what he's been raised to believe and things that he liked about how his parents parented, things he didn't like. He's about 30 years old, by the way. And so what I did was, as I shared about my background, I went a lot faster than him, of course. But in the end, I did connect some dots based on how I was raised to connect with how he was raised, so we would have a common ground there. All right. And then that moved into, what can you share a little bit about the business? And so I just cut to the chase pretty quick on the business side, because again, we were running long, man. And I flat out said to him, I said, listen,
appointment's not that long.
no. And I said to him, I said, listen, The reason you got to bring this up is because if he thinks the appointments normally last 2 hours, you guys, or 3 hours, even if he likes it, he's saying to himself, I can't do what Cullen just did. I don't have 3 hours every time to sit down and meet with somebody, see?
So true.
But in the end, here's what happened though, guys. Because I called a little bit of an audible and I spent time with this guy and I really let him talk as long as I did, okay? What ended up happening is at the end, he says, well, Cullen, one of my best friends approached me with a company called ACN. Have you ever heard of ACN? And I said, oh, I know it very well. He says, you know how it works and everything? And I says, oh, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, what I didn't like about his presentation and is what I do like about your presentation. And I said, oh, well, what's that? He says, you actually spent time getting to know me. Where he sat down and it was on his agenda, his timing, he just flipped through a bunch of information and like, am I ready to sign up today? And I was not. And I was turned off. And I was like, even if some of the stuff sounded interesting, I wasn't interested because he wasn't interested in me. You are clearly interested in me. And how can you help me? And even though we went long here today, I appreciate you spending the time with me and getting to know me better. And the bottom line, guys, is this about the health survey. He loved that we had a tool that he could use to collect information and then direct traffic, the health survey. And then I moved him into the follow-up appointment, got him on the phone with Eric Giroux. Mm-hmm. They hit it off, of course. Unbelievable connection on that call. Eric asked him a few questions, and Eric said, well, based on that, your next step is this. Now we got him invited to the UBP, which is coming up this coming Tuesday. But immediately, guys, he started surveying people. Yep. That's how you know if you have somebody who's interested. So he's surveying people, and then he's emailing and texting Eric and I at the same time, copying us in. Got another survey done. Got another survey done, and we're going, woo! High five!
How many does he have done?
I think at this point he's up to like 7 or 8.
Already has that done in a couple of days.
And here's the thing, guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. And so I knew I was headed to Chicago to, do a training this weekend. And it was going to be a little bit crazy. I did a local seminar yesterday, Trinity and I, and then I did an ECCT today. Mm-hmm. And my head's like spinning. And I just looked at Eric and I said, Eric, I need you to take this guy and just run with him and just treat him like he's yours. Yeah. Okay. Now, let me share something with you. And Eric's awesome, and Eric was all over it, and he knows how to do that. One thing I find interesting in an ABC pattern, because that's what we're talking about here tonight, is how many people we meet who do not understand the ABC pattern at all. And here's how you know if you understand. If you're working with the person at the bottom, whether you sponsor them or not, then you understand the ABC pattern, and you will make a lot of money very, very quickly with the company. The people who do not understand it are trying to do all the work themselves. They're trying to burn the house in the basement all by themselves. And so it's so interesting to me when Trinity and I hear someone say, well, that's not my person. I didn't sponsor them in. And I'm going, do you understand the comp plan at all?
Don't. No.
Right? Think about that, though.
If you have a senior business partner or somebody who wants to reach out and help your team or your people, you want to give them a huge hug. You want to thank them because that's very kind of them, right? So you always want to get to know that person at the bottom because like JR says, there's no problem that cannot be solved without a couple good new people.
That's it.
Oh, my team's not retailing. Great. Find a couple people who like to retail. Oh, my team doesn't show the plan. Great. Find a couple people who will. Oh, my team don't listen to me. Or they don't go to the trainings. They don't plug in. Great. Sell a couple tickets to some new people and have them plug in. Every solution can be solved with a couple of good new people. So when you show the plan, you brought up a great point with that where, you're going to tell people the next step, you guys, but they're either going to lead you to people or they're not. Or they're either going to throw this and do the health surveys and move some product and try some product, or they're not. They're going to pick up the phone and be there for their follow-up appointment or their follow-up phone call, or they're not. And you really, truly do have to recognize the wrong people, but do your part. And one of the things that I think is so ironic that I've learned with the follow-up process is, okay, let's say somebody was not there for the follow-up. Leave a voicemail message with the person. if you go through the trouble of calling and you already have the expert or the business partner on the phone, go ahead and leave that message. Hey, Colin, it's Trinity. Hey, I know that we had an appointment tonight to talk at 8 o'clock. I am so sorry that we missed you, but I wanted to hold my commitment, and I have so-and-so on the phone. I was really excited to introduce you. They just wanted to say hi to you real quick. And then they leave their 2-minute commercial, maybe bring up the HBP that's coming up on Wednesday, and then done. Thanks so much. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Look forward to meeting you there. Something like that to where you're connecting it, right?
Absolutely. And we've had people call back, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, this happened, whatever. But leave that message, right? Because when you are showing somebody the plan, you want to continue to do the follow-up appointments and the follow-up phone call because you're really racing against the fear clock. We talked about the thermometer a couple of weeks ago on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 meaning just maybe check out some products and be a customer, and 10 meaning they're ready to get started yesterday. And so if you don't call them for a week, they forget what they're excited about and they go down on that thermometer. And so what happens is your job in racing against the fear clock is to move them up to a 10. So if they leave that appointment and then you don't call them until Wednesday, they run into Uncle Billy Bob or their neighbor across the street who, really did like a Amway back in the day, or, those, whatever doesn't work and negative, they're going to go down. But if you keep them up and you keep your commitment, and even if it's a message or whatever it might be, they're going to think, man, these people are, I'm thinking about Market America. You want them thinking about Market America often, right, to keep them up on that thermometer. So know that you're racing against the fear clock.
That's it. And like Barb put on here, Barb Bolt, the amazing Barb Bolt.
The amazing.
They are all my people.
They are.
And then again, Eric Drew put calling at our committed time. See, so it's like you're calling at the time that we've committed to. This is our appointment. I'm calling you our scheduled appointment time. So now they're like, oh man, this person's dead serious. And like Trinity said, the right people will call back and say, I'm so sorry. Here's what happened. Da, 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 da. The wrong people might just be blowing you off. And you have to recognize that. It is what it is. People are going to be people. But what's interesting is how many people, going back to the point I was making on when we're meeting the people, don't sit back and wait for Barb or, Roger or Melanie or, Nikki Forbes or Nicole Haas, or don't wait on someone else to dig at the bottom and do the work for you.
Yep.
That's the point I was trying to make. Each one of you, and hear me when I say this, each one of you is well-equipped enough and great enough to say, I can do a piece of this. And be willing to be bold and be willing to step forward and say, I've got this. And not on your own, but as part of the team.
Yes.
Call up Barb Bolt and say, hey, I know we're working ABC pattern over here. How can I help? Well, you can help by bringing somebody with you, number one, right? Because that's what we're all going to do, including Barb, right? Including us. We're going to lead by example. So all of us are bringing people to an event, but how can I help? How can I dig at the bottom? How can we, if you're not communicating on how you're going to work the room at an event, you're missing the point of the follow-up after the meeting. And you shouldn't show up and assume that just because someone's a higher pin level than you, that they're responsible to work that whole room. Now, the sharp people, we all get that we better work that room because odds are some people are going to drop the ball because they don't understand the ABC pattern. But here's how we know if you understand it, because you're working the room with us. Yep. If we get done at the end of the night and there's 10, 15 guests, let's say there's 10 guests there, and I have 3 names and their phone numbers, and we're booking follow-up, and Trin has 3, and Barb has 3, and Jackie has 3, and Melanie has 3, and Roger has 3, and Eric has 3, and Dan Giroux has 3, and
they get it.
If we all have names where we're following up with people, now that's a high five at the end of the night.
For sure.
Because now we all feel great because we did our part. We were bold. We were like, I've got this, and we're a team, and this is what we're doing. And they see us working it. They see us talking to everybody versus relying on one other person to do all the work. A lot of times we miss the boat on the ABC pattern of duplication because at our job, we have to do all the work. And if we don't, we get criticized or we get yelled at or, we're made to feel bad. Whereas like in our business is like, no one's going to make you feel bad. We're just going to bypass you to go do the work because you're not. But you have to say to yourself, how can I be better? What can I do that's better? How can we leverage this together? But it all starts, you guys, with effective communication to build house to house, week to week, collaborating
going together.
That's right, and collaborating calendars to maximize all of our teamwork together.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Trinity and I have been doing in Florida, tag teaming with someone like Dr. Cheryl.
Absolutely.
Because we had people in the area. Dr. Cheryl had a lot more people than us in the area, but it's like, how can we tag team and bring that energy to the meetings? Are you kidding, you guys? Those of you that are on this fast track, every single one of you should be like, how can we work together? How can we bring the energy together? How can we, no matter your pin level, it's about energy. It's about who you're being, because you're going to act the part, not fake it till you make it. You're going to be it. You're going to act and be like a director, not fake like a director. You're just going to do what directors do.
You bet. You bet. No, it is. It's so true because you're in the energy, right? So if you're talking to somebody else's guest or somebody on your team's guest, doesn't matter if they're a new person, and you're taking control of the energy, right? You're setting the pace, and it's really, truly about creating an energy around what you guys are doing. It's really about creating a level of excitement. People want to jump on board with people that are going somewhere.
Woo!
So if I don't know somebody specifically and I'm meeting them, and it could be, the letter L or, F, it doesn't matter. If they're down deep on somewhere that we're building, I am shaking a hand. I'm giving them my cell phone number, whatever I can do to help you. You're sitting there thinking, is this right for you? We want to make sure that there's a match. Let's find out. Let's throw it in front of some people. Put us to work. Let's throw it in front of some people that you respect. I'm happy to meet you at Starbucks. When is a great time for us to get together? And I'll take my phone out and, or they're asking me a question and I need to, you know what? I can email you that, or I can text you. There's a video goes through all of this with 23 minutes long. Let me go ahead and text that to you. Take my phone out. What is your phone number? And I will just sit there with my phone. Some people do a day timer. You open the day timer, you open it up. What is your phone number? What is your email? And I will collect that phone number, and that way I have control of that ABC pattern, because guess what? 9 times out of 10, the brand new person, they're leading to their people, but they don't know what to do yet. So if you don't collect that information, you're leaving it to chance and up to the new person who might have only been with Market America for just a couple of weeks. So I hope you guys are understanding my point, where you get that phone number. That way you can keep in contact with them, and you're going to just drip information. It might be emailing them a video, right? Or giving them a copy of the financial report, or sending them a YouTube clip through text, or a profiles of success video. Anything every 48 to 36 hours, you are dripping information to keep them up on that thermometer.
Yeah, and it's a great point Trinity brings up, because as much as we want to trust our new people on doing the steps that we're coaching them on, we still don't leave it up to chance, though, because in the end, it's your business. So, it always amazed me, you guys, when we work in a room when I was brand new in the business, and we would get done at the end of the night, and I would have 2 people's phone numbers and, a follow-up book. And then Trinity and I and Roxanne Reed, for instance, we'd compare notes or something, and Trinity would have everybody's name and phone number.
Sure.
I'm not joking. Everybody in the room, she had everyone's name and phone number, and I'm thinking, wow, she's like some kind of magician. She got and I'm going, well, I got theirs, and I got the follow-up book, and Trinity was like, no, great job. But see, Trinity understood something at that point where she was like, she didn't know if I had it, see, so she didn't leave it up for chance. She got them all. Then when we compared notes at the end of the night, then we figured out what we had booked or what was going on to her. But if somebody missed something, it didn't matter, because it didn't get missed, because Trinity didn't miss it, see. And that's so powerful, because you can't leave it up for chance. And you got to know who's showing up to the meeting with you.
Sure.
To know who understands it, who can help me as far as work in the room. But you may be that person. And if you are the person, you better work the room because, as we all know, if you don't book the next step for people, if you don't book the next house, nobody's going to.
Right.
And then you've stopped the ABC pattern. And that's exactly what JR teaches us, you guys, is that if you've got the follow-ups book, high five. But if you didn't, it didn't matter how great the presentation was. It didn't matter how excited we thought they were.
Sure.
Did we sell products? Did we get health surveys? Did we get home shopping lists filled out? Did we collect data from people to where we could then direct traffic?
That's two great points. One is you said we're not going to leave it to chance. That's the key, guys. You don't want to leave anything to chance with that follow-up process. You want to make sure that you take control of the ABC pattern. All right, and if you don't have control of it, just go find somebody at the bottom and take control of it, right? So you guys can create that excitement. But you also mentioned, I'm trying to think what my other point was that you mentioned. I think I don't know.
Fantastic.
It was that fantastic.
It was amazing.
But
what you give energy to is going to expand what you're thinking.
Okay.
So one of the people come up to us at the seminar yesterday, and she said, I just really have a hard time. I can't get anyone to give me their phone number.
Yeah.
And so when she said that to me, my response was, I believe you. And then after I let that land and she figured out what I was really saying, is that's her story. And for her to say to her, she says, she professed it. That was her, was what she put out to the universe, you guys, was I can't get people to give me their phone numbers. And I'm like, I believe you, but nobody else is like, anybody else in the room have an issue with that?
I just assume it.
But that's it. But see, this was her lesson, you guys, was she's programming herself at every appointment or every approach that I can't get people's phone numbers. And guess what? She's proving herself right. So it don't matter what your issue is, you guys, by the way, put the mirror up in front of your face because a lot of times it's your issue because what you're giving energy to is expanding subconsciously, and then sometimes it becomes consciously, right?
That's really good.
But
I remembered.
Okay, yeah. Go.
Okay, you're good? So, I remembered. I don't want to lose it again. Okay. So, when you said, we were talking about taking control, right? So, when you're racing against the fear clock, your job with a new person to create that ABC pattern is to really, truly get them success. That's what it's about. Before the fear kicks in, right? Or they change, anything about what they're looking for, or Uncle Billy Bob comes in. You're going to get them success through just really a couple of things. Through retailing products, like you did with the guy with the health surveys that Colin just met with this week. He's already filling out health surveys. Great job, babe. So retailing, the second way you get them success is because you're going to throw it in front of some people for them. If you find them a person or two, they are crazy not to do it. You're crazy not to take them on the team. Or through plugging them in through our GMTSS system and selling them a ticket. Because we all know they come to the training, they see everybody else, they see the excitement, they meet some business partners, they hear the testimonies, they really truly see that this is an amazing business system. That way they go up on that thermometer, it builds their belief level. They know that this business is right for them. You know this business is right for them and that they are right for your business. Because you can call it a trial run, you can call it ABC, you can call it whatever you want to do. But the fact of the matter is that this is also, you're evaluating them as much as they're evaluating Market America. I hope that hits all of you. You're really, truly evaluating them. Because if you're working with the wrong people and you're consistently trying to get a hold of somebody and they're not picking up the phone, or they're not at the appointments, or they said they'd show up but they're not, and it's kind of like 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. Do you really want to work that hard? It's slow and painful. You guys, there's something about when somebody's truly looking, and again, we talked about this names list. Would you go through 100 more people to find an Elizabeth Weber? Would you go through another 100 people to find a Jim Winkler, right? Or David and Stacy, or Melanie
Share
and
that
Doug,
example that you shared yesterday at the seminar.
About
where she had to make so many calls.
Oh, sure.
This is like, if you get this example, you will grow like crazy, but you have to give your business some urgency. All right.
Well, and what we talked about yesterday is that if you're a realtor and they told you that, okay, you're going to go and you're going to show 300 homes, 300 homes, 300 names on a names list, your job is not to just put them on a piece of paper. Your job is to get the 300 names off the piece of paper. You're not just sorting out there to find 2 people. You're going to sort through your names list to find the 2 best ones, right? And people continue to lead to people.
Sell products to the rest.
You bet.
They're all customers.
So, well, you're going to find other people as well through that list,
totally.
right? And build a large organization. But the fact of the matter is that if you're a realtor and they said sell 3, as soon as you showed 300 homes, we're going to pay you $3,600 a week for the rest of your life. How fast would you go through those homes? If you're working in an office and you have to, talk to 300 people on the phone or deal with 300 customers in that office, how fast for $187,000 a year that you can will to your grandchildren, how fast would you go through those 300 customers?
So
be like, let me at them, right? So
it's the same thing as, like Trinity when she was telemarketing.
Yeah.
If she knew the outcome was I had to make, 300 calls to lock that in, and knowing that some are going to say yes, some are going to pass, right? In the end, we don't get to choose.
You bet.
But we did the work. And by doing the work, you're on the freeway of great things to happen.
I talked to probably 50 people a day that would hang up and call. I mean, there are much worse jobs out there. Let's be real, right? So I would have stinking talked to 300 people within a week probably just to get that 6 figures for the rest of my life. So the point is, you guys, is dig deep to find a winner. And when you find somebody, there's something about when you find somebody that's like, let's go, I am serious, and they uphold their commitment, they book a home business presentation, they throw you in front of some people, and they have credibility. They have some kind of success in their life, and you start showing some people, and they sit down at the table, and they sit down and they're saying, you know what, we don't even know what this is about, but Lourdes is doing this, we're in. We don't understand it, but if she's doing it, we're all ears. We want to know, and we're going to do whatever she's doing because we trust her and she has that type of credibility. That's when your business gets really fun.
The other thing is you got to put things in the proper ratio. So a lot of people Trinity and I are working with right now, and we have worked with, and we always go back to this. A great coaching tip for some of you that are growing an awesome team and killing it. Mm-hmm. And for some of you, this is going to hit you right between the eyes because this could be you. Either way, here's a coaching tip. If somebody, so for instance, somebody right now is just like, man, I've got to get my second person. I've been in the business a month and I've got to get my second person. And we're like, yeah, I know. We got to do this thing. You showed the plan to 3 people and you sponsored 2. I'm going to let that land for a second. We say to the person, you've showed the business with us, okay, one of us is there, to 3 people, and you sponsored 2. They happen to know each other, so they went on the same side, okay? So therefore, she's, between them and people leading to people, she's got like 4 people underneath her, okay? And so she sees the burn, she sees the BV, she sees everything rolling, and it's like, are you kidding? What an incredible ratio.
You're doing awesome.
You're amazing.
Yes.
And it's like, we just got to show a few more people this business. Yep. Like, oh yeah, that's it. It's not a problem, guys, at all, but you got to put things in perspective. Somebody's like, man, it's just not going fast enough. And it's like, okay, hold on a second. How many plants have we showed again for you? And they're like, 10. And it's like, and how many have we sponsored? 1. Okay, all right, so we sponsored 1, we showed 10. How many customers have we added? 7. And it's like, man, double high five. You are doing great. See, it's all perspective because sometimes us as humans are very, very hard on ourselves, and we're very critical of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And we also expect our ratio to be like perfect. And it's like, for everybody I showed, they get in. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, JR is the only one who has a perfect ratio because he always trained us that he only shows the actual plan and numbers to people that are already mentally in. That's why he's got a 100% ratio. He wouldn't even show the plan to somebody. It's like, I didn't even show them the plan. I just got to know them, and I found out that they weren't right. So I was trying to get them to lead me to somebody else. Well, they didn't lead me to anybody else, or they led me to somebody else. Either way, we're going to get into the ABC pattern. The next step I wanted to talk about in the ABC pattern, you guys, is as people lead to people. I want to show this diagram because as people are leading to people, here's what I want you to be thinking about. One of the missing steps we notice as we're watching people too is, on one hand, we need to be the leader, and that's a true story. But on the other hand, it's more important for me to get other people up presenting the intro, presenting the products, presenting the plan. So it's Cullen not needed. It's Trin not needed.
The checklist.
And sometimes we find that people think leadership means you have to do all the work. And although you're going to control the ABC pattern, but as you grow and person A leads to person B, who leads to person C, as we're growing down one side, let's say we're growing down our left side, that left side, guys, ultimately, I'm already trying to get person A and person B to do something at the next presentation, whether it's a coffee shop meeting, whether it's a home presentation. And if you're in this, you guys, you should want to do a step of the presentation because you understand that the person who is holding the marker, the person who's doing some part of that presentation are the people who make the money. So, and then who are great listeners also make the most money. So it's kind of twofold. On one hand, I got to be willing to do my part and speak up.
Sure.
And on another part, I got to be willing to be a great listener. So therefore I can direct traffic. But we feel like it's a missing piece because some people feel like, well, I haven't hit this level yet. And I can remember when we were newer, and it was like, boom, it was like, what I got to do to get up and do the UBP, let's say, or the second look,
it's a big
right?
deal. It's exciting.
Every single one of you should have a goal of being a UBP presenter. And so one of the categories within the Speakers Bureau at this point. And to be a UBP speaker, you got to do a couple of little things that show that you're demonstrating that you're A, growing your business, and B, you're actually in the trenches showing the plan, because we don't want anybody up at the UBP for practice. We want you up because you're polished at sitting down, you're showing the plan one-on-one, two-on-one.
Yep.
And we need more of you. I'm challenging each and every one of you that if you're not at least a UBP presenter as part of the GMTSS, that's your homework assignment, is how do I print off that, and what do I need to do that? Because that's going to demonstrate to yourself that I got this. But more importantly, guys, it's more important for your team to see that you're leading, that you can do it. So then they believe they can do it. That's all that's about.
That's so true, because as you grow, you got to step out of that comfort zone a little bit for sure. But when you are doing the ABC pattern and you do find somebody, it is about keeping, just little things alive, keeping people up on that thermometer through little baby steps where it could be, just a product testimony. And so if you're doing a little HBP or a 2-on-1 and somebody's been in the business and they led to a person or two, we just got a text from our new person, Amber, who's had a number of different issues, and she started on OPC a month ago. She had
not issues with Market America.
No, right, so true.
Sometimes we have to clarify what we're saying.
Some issues health-wise.
In life.
Some
things coming up.
Health-wise, after she had her second son, she had her son and just some women's issues going on. And she had some scars that are clearing up and just amazing OPC testimonies. So she's texting me these. So when we go do the appointment and I start to show the plan for her other coworker that she brought onto the team, what I do is when we sit down and when I get to the product section, I'm going to say, Amber, you have an amazing testimony on the OPC. Could you go ahead and share that? So without freaking her out, since she's only like 4 weeks old in the business,
low anxiety,
I'm just going to say, hey, would you mind sharing? And she just, I'm really doing with her is training and getting her involved with the conversation. And that way she's already doing products. And then I'll go, hey, Amber, can you show the next step of the business plan, right? And so we're training leaders as we go. So, and another thing I wanted to go ahead and mention too is when new people have questions at the bottom and you're consistently keeping in contact, hey, that's a great question, I'm going to go ahead and send you this video. Watch it, and then call me back if you have any more questions, but write down your 3 main points that you took away. I think this video will answer your question. Or go to Go Now Resources. How to set up your website is all on there. You can just point and click, or, how to, do a wellness 101 or whatever it might be. All the steps are up there. It's all put together. You're going to freak out. It's such great information, so easy to do. And so we are always
leverage
using
the tools, or you are the tool.
Or you are the tool.
David White.
But also leverage other people.
That's right.
Right? We are leveraging others, and it's not just to follow up at the follow-up within 48 to 36 hours. It is those little drips. And that way, if somebody sees the business, hey, we sat down with somebody and we showed them the plan. You saw it at Starbucks. Then you went to the HBP, and I know you talked to Melanie the other day. And now we're just got done with the local seminar. Let me ask you a question. On a scale from 1 to 10, Colleen, you saw that, got lots of questions answered, all these different things. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 meaning you're just ready to keep being a customer, and 10 meaning you're ready to get started yesterday, where would you say that you're at? Give me a number.
I'm ready to host something at my house.
All right, let's roll.
Let's go.
So you're a 10. You're ready to roll.
I'm ready to roll.
Awesome. Let's set that up, and we'll figure out a way to do the contract, right? We'll figure out a time to do the contract. Okay?
That's it.
Yeah, you ask them. Continue to get them up on that thermometer. ABC. People lead to people.
That's it. So as people lead to people, you guys, this is another thing. As you're given urgency in the ABC pattern, the secret and the go fast, all right? Number 1, it's never going to be perfect. Never going to be perfect, so let perfect go. That's number 1. Number 2 is after each meeting, you're trying to book the next meeting. Guys, if you're only doing a UBP once a month in your area, and you're not booking the people at the UBP on your team or guests that they have in their home or moving to the next house, and you're not moving like two nights a week, you're not out like trying to, pound the pavement and rock it out. And that 2 nights a week, you guys, is like half of your 10 hours a week.
100.
That should be your focus, to get out 2 nights a week and build ABC pattern. And the goal is to go house to house to house, because people will go to someone else's home versus coming to your home because they don't know you. The only way they're going to come to your home is if they pick them up and bring them. And then the only way they're going to pick them up and bring them is what's in it for them. All right, WIIFM, what's in it for me? The person's always asking themselves, what's in it for me? So ultimately, if you give them a reason to come, like, hey, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Hey, let's go get a bite to eat, and then we're going to head over here. I would love to meet some people that are leveraging this internet, making a lot of money. These are all successful people. Look at what you're inviting them to, as how much value is there? Do you really believe that presentation, what we're going to get together and collaborate about, if everybody in that room, and this is the way Trinity and I think about the business, you guys, we look at that room, no matter who's going to be there, like JR and Lauren are going to be there, like Dennis, Kevin, they're all showing up that night. And do you think for 1 second that we're like, I wonder if I should go? No. Number 1. Number 2 is, and it don't matter if it's a UBP, HBP, what the presentation is. I act like they're going to be there. I act like JR's like a fly on the wall. He's got like some camera up in the corner, and he's watching to see who's in it to win it. And I'm like, we're in it to win it. We're doing it
to win it.
And so what happens is we're showing up to the next person's home. And why would other people come? Because we're in a room full of millionaire thinkers that are then going to be millionaire earners with their company. And whether they're earning it yet or not, that's the caliber of people that are going to be hanging out this night. And I want you to come with me. Why would they say no to that? Think about that for 1 second and let that kind of permeate, the cerebral cortex there. Why would they not take advantage of that and come with you? The only reason they would not come or not want to come is because you didn't provide enough value in your pitch to them, 2-minute pitch on why they should come with you, and you didn't have enough value around that, because if JR was there himself, you would have got him there. But it's like, well, it's just, Cullen, we know Cullen really good, it's no big deal, we're good friends, and da-da-da. And then it's like, okay, and then the person doesn't come because there wasn't enough value. Because I became your friend versus someone who's really successful, see? It's all in how you're promoting. You got to get better at promoting, guys. That is a learnable skill, And you got to know what the value is and the perceived value for people to what they're taking away.
Yep. I love it.
And then, so we're always booking the next appointment to get into the ABC pattern. That is the secret right there. If you're not booking it, they're not going to turn to you like I just did to Trent. So I did that kind of jokingly, right? Because like she's asking me what I am on a number from scale from 1 to 10, and I was being ornery because in the end, not against her, but I was being ornery because in the end, the new person isn't going to do what I just did. They're going, oh, I want to host something at my house. They don't know to ask that. You're the only one that, so no matter what they answer, Trent's like, oh, I'm a 7. Trent's like, great. Your next step is, why don't we invite some people over to your house?
What
why
do
don't
we
you
got
let
to
me
do
come
to
do
get you
some
to
work?
an 8 or 9?
Yeah, and why don't we come do some work for
Yep.
you? So many people get a number back, like Trinity's like, here, you tell me your number, you get the number back, and then you're like, I don't know what to do next. Well, the number, I mean, no matter what they say, I'm like trying to get to their house. I'm trying to book that next appointment, no matter what, unless they're like a 0, which means they're brain dead, all right? So anything else, it's like, how can I get them to host something? How can I get them to do something? Even if they want to be a customer, you want to get the products cheaper, right? Host something at your house. Let's make some sales. I'll credit those sales towards you. And those are BVs, guys. BVs that you're placing down on your team. Are you kidding?
It's always, if somebody's a 7, great. What do we got to do to get you to an 8 or a 9? You know what? I need to know that these products work. Let's say that that's their objection. I need to know these products work. Fantastic. Which products would you like to try? Man, this business just looks so too good to be true. You know what? A lot of people feel that way. You know, I can totally relate. I'll tell you what, why don't you come to the next seminar that we have on this date, and I'll slide the ticket across the table, right? I'll move the ticket. And, or, oh, it looks too good to be true. You know what? A lot of people say that. You're sitting there thinking, is this right for me? I want to make sure this, there's a match. The best way we both get that answer is put us to work. Why don't we get together at Starbucks this next Wednesday? Why don't we get together at your home? Let's put some other eyes on this. Have some people you respect evaluate it. And then you go to that house. It's house to house to house to house. And then what you do is just like JR does, is you go to the bottom when somebody says, I'm a 10, I'm ready, let's roll. And you're going to do that contract. You can go back up the line. Do you want, hey, Amber's ready to go. Do you want to sponsor Amber or would you like me to? And it's just that simple. Well, no, I would, right? Who's going to say no to that? And then you go back to that up all the way up the line. And that's how it works. A, B, C. And it's a ton of fun.
So in closing out tonight, you guys, the ABC pattern is truly the secret sauce, okay, around you having control over your growth in the business. It controls how fast you're going to be successful or how slow you're going to go. It's about the growth. It's about the progress. It's about timing. Everyone's timing is going to be different, but it takes chance out of it because as you're growing from person to person to person, some are going to go now and some are going to go later. In either way, we just love everybody right where they're at. It's not our job to guilt them into doing the business. Anybody you got to drag into the business, you guys, you got to drag to the meeting. You got to drag the convention.
It's a job.
I mean, dragging anybody anywhere.
No.
That is excruciating.
Right.
That is painful.
Yeah.
Don't do that, all right? You want to focus on people that want to hang out with us. And the only way they're going to want to hang out with us is if we are fun to hang out with.
I think that's the most important thing. You create your own energy, create your own excitement. You're going to create a fun team of people that others want to be a part of. And that's really getting to the ABC. When you get to Starbucks and you have a table full, or you go to somebody's home and they have credibility and you're just having a great time, it's who you want to hang out with, and people want to be a part of that.
That's it, you guys. So in the end, it is about having fun. People are buying us, but they're also saying, if I was going to do something additional outside of my daily routine, whether they're a business owner, whether they're stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, or a factory worker, it doesn't really matter. But if they were going to do something additional outside of what they're already used to doing, they have to see the value, but they also have to see, is this fun? Is this something I see myself doing? Do I want to hang out with these people? Do I trust these people? Is a huge piece. But ultimately, it's like if I brought some people to the table and I introduced these people to some people, do I think they gave an effective presentation where the other person's going to be impressed by this? Do I think they're going to be impressed by their energy? And that's what you're bringing to the table is the passion and the excitement and the energy. And selling people on the vision of where we're going as a company, but most importantly, because we already know the company's rock solid and killing it, right? But you got to sell them on where you're going and where your team is going. And we're putting together a group of people, and we are killing this area. We are rocking it, and we are looking for the sharpest people, taking on the best of the best, and everyone else can be customer. It's free, and they respect that. Because we're not going to push anybody. We're not going to convince anybody. We're all going to follow the same franchising system that we have with our unfranchised business. So
the best.
But in the end, it's all about moving people forward quickly.
Getting them success.
At the speed you want to go at, because they don't know what speed to go at. And then path of least resistance. If they don't want to, that's why it says it doesn't unfold perfectly, right, Trim? Because if they don't want to go as fast, well, I'm trying to get the person to do what Colin and Trim just said, but they don't want to do that. So then then
find
they don't want to
do that.
Want
to go fast.
Yeah,
find
make them a customer.
Want to go fast.
Okay.
Yep. So just have a great time. So we hope that you took some great tips from us tonight. We just really believe in all of you. Stay consistent with that checklist. Next week, get a perfect score. And we're going to have so much fun next week. I'm really excited because we're going to talk about moving some tickets and exactly what to do and how we do it. So super stoked about that. So have an amazing week. We bless your week. Have fun, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
Bye.